Hello, this is Rod, Appraiser Broker. Hey, I've worked in real estate for about 34 and a half years. I started working for an appraisal firm back 34 and a half years ago. Then I became an agent and also eventually a real estate broker. I'm licensed both in Utah. I have a big site, well-known site called utahforeclosures.com, and another site in Colorado, as I'm licensed up in Colorado too. And this is me just introducing myself right here. I had a website up called utahappraisers.com, which I had up for a lot of years, and some other appraiser sites. But I currently am not accepting appraisal orders. I can, but I don't want to, because I always chose to be honest in my work, and that didn't make me a whole lot of money appraising. Not in my experience. So I've used my real estate license a lot more. As I said, you can find me on utahforeclosures.com. And I did have a site called Appraiser Broker up for a while. I don't have that up now. And also utahhorseproperty.com, pleasantgrovehomes.com. And I've got a few other sites that I can put back up. If I list your home in Utah, there's a pretty good chance that I've got a really good place to show it. But right now, I've been selling someone's home in Lehi, and that is this home right here, down toward the bottom of the screen. I've got that featured. It's been featured here on LehiHomes.com, and I'm going to show you the listing on the MLS. So this is the listing for this home, and this is a home that I listed for $512,000, and which seemed like a pretty high price to be able to get out of it, when you realize that the house was identical to it right next door, or virtually identical. But this home has really been immaculate. It's been taken care of really well. It is immaculate. It's got, as I noted here, 4 bedrooms. It's got 3 full baths. It's got a big fenced rear yard, and I put those on the picture here for people to see, and I featured it on utahhomes.com or lehihomes.com, so that people would see that first when they came on here. And this video, what I'm trying to do is tell you how to get the most out of your home. And it doesn't really matter where you are in the country. There are agents that can help you get the most out of your home. I've interviewed agents for a lot of years, and I've referred business to other agents. I've had well over 150 referrals where I interviewed the agent and recommended the agent, and the people used that agent and it closed, and the people were happy with the agent that they used. They closed with them, and I got paid a referral fee for all my years of experience and being able to help them find an agent that'll help them get the most out of their home. Now I want to show you something. How can someone get the most out of their home? That's what this video is about. I want you to know that when I looked at this home on the MLS, or excuse me, on the I can look at the history on it here. Now notice on the history here, and I've made a bunch of changes on my listing as I went, because I continually work on the homes that I'm selling. When we look at the last listing, this home sold back in 2008, and there's the same house that sold back in 2008. And how much did it sell for then? Well, let's see. It was $216,500 is what it sold for. Now that's quite a long time ago. That was approximately 16 years ago. Back when it sold for about $133 a foot. And it had the full, let me just pull this down so that you can see. It had the same full 3 full baths and 4 bedrooms that it has now. It hasn't changed a whole lot, except for the fact that my client just had a new roof put on it and also a new furnace put in it, and they really take care of it. So how is it the price has gone up so much that if you look at the price that I was selling this for per foot before I lowered the price $2,000, it was actually selling for $324 a foot. And there's a lot of things that go into this price per foot that really affect it. But the truth is, it is just the price divided by the square footage. And we can see here, let me make this bigger, that it's got 1,576 square feet. That's not a lot of square footage for a house that has 4 bedrooms and 3 full baths. But the house right next door to it is the same model, and and my brother's home was the same model that I sold for him a few years ago. But there's a few differences, and the biggest difference is the fact that this has a walkout in the backyard. Now let me go back to the photos on this so I can show you some things. Because someone that really knows the real estate business is going to pick up the differences and know how to deal with those. Most agents won't, but I've been an appraiser for, let's see, well, over 34 years, and I'm still a certified appraiser. But when you look at the pictures on this home, let's go to the backyard and look at that. If I can get this to scroll fast enough where I've kind of made the pictures a little bit bigger so that you can see them. You can see the home is in immaculate condition. And I wanted to have good photos in here. And actually a professional photographer helped me with the photos to get good photos in here that would show the house. And that's why you can see out the window here, because he changed his lens many times to be able to not just get the laundry room, but to show the outside here. That's one of the things that we did. And I thought it would be worth using some of the photos that he took over the photos that I took and show how nice this home really is. But notice here in the family room, this goes into the backyard. This is not below grade. It steps right out into the yard. And if we look at the picture from the backyard, sorry, we're having a little difficulty. You'll notice that's completely above grade. So this walks out. There is no basement. But when I was looking at the county records on this property, and hopefully I'll be able to make this smaller and get down to what I wanted to show you there. See if we can close that picture. When I looked on the county records here, it showed what other agents had showed, and that was, it made it look like there's 1,048 square feet and a 528 square foot basement. So right off, I recognized, hey, this is all above grade. So that 1,576 square feet, unlike the last person, the several last agents that listed this, that was all above grade. So I looked at the house, I remeasured it, and that was close enough that I used the same square footage. But what I did on my listing is I showed that 971 square feet of that were on this main level. We'll call this the main level. These 2 levels, there's only 2 steps in between them, and there was 605 square feet up on this upper level. But that was all above grade. So if an appraiser sees this, which the appraiser did, that came to appraise it for the people buying it, and she noticed that the home next door was listed the same, but this is all above grade. So I reminded her of that, and when we talked again after I gave her all the comparables, and she was concerned, how's she going to get up to that price, right, when it's under contract? And I've actually got, what I did is I featured it on LehiHomes.com. I let every person know I'm an appraiser, and we've got this featured where it was featured on LehiHomes.com. I had signs out front that said LehiHomes.com so that every person driving by would easily remember where to feature it. And I spend a fortune on my domain names, which I've purchased the domain names like PleasantGroveHomes.com, HolidayHomes.com for a lot of cities here. And I've actually spent, if you can imagine this, over the course of the last 24 years, I spent over $200,000 on my domain names. But I want to help people get the most out of their home if they list their properties with me. And I can even feature their property on UtahForeclosures.com, right? Or UtahHorseProperty.com or UtahForeclosures.com or OremHomes.com. Why? Because I own those domain names. And I own them because I wanted to be in the best position over any other agent around to get people the most out of their home. And so there's quite a few factors. One of the biggest factors is that I know how to talk to the appraiser. I know what they go through. I taught appraisal many years back at the largest real estate school in the state. And I will interview agents to help you find an agent, preferably if I can find an agent who has the experience as an appraiser and as an agent. I will help you do that. If you want to give me a call, and you know where to find me, right? Right there on utahforeclosures.com. There's my cell number, and you know who you're talking to, because here I am. There's another video introducing myself. But if you want help finding an agent that's going to help you get the most out of your property, feel free to give me a call, and I will help you do that. Anyhow, back to this listing. So I listed this property the way that I believe it should have been listed in the first place, not how the county records had it, showing that there was over 500 square feet, whatever they had on the previous listings in the basement, but this was all above grade. Then what I did is I did a lot of research for the appraiser that would be coming in, most likely because most homes are bought with loans. And I made sure that the appraiser contacted me when they were coming out, and I met them at the property with a dozen pages printed up of other properties that were under contract, other properties that were available that I felt like were comparable to this, and other properties that sold. And it's important to have someone that really knows what they're doing if you want to be able to get top dollar out of your property. And that requires work that most agents don't do. In fact, a lot of appraisers don't even do the work that they should do, in my opinion. But a good agent who's also been an appraiser for a lot of years, I've been an appraiser for over 30 years too, I know how to help the appraiser legitimately get the value up to where to help them see where that value really is. So I listed this at $512,000. We got an offer, and I have permission from my client to share this information, but the offer was only like $500,000. And they wanted a whole bunch in closing costs. Well, I countered back, and I countered back at $510,000 and did offer that we'd pay $10,000 in closing costs, because that's pretty common in this market to be paying $10,000, $10,000 to $15,000 in closing costs. But I certainly did not offer it for on the counter for the what we had offered by the party that was interested in it. But I was confident that I could help someone get the most out of this property, and I called other people back, let other people see it, and eventually we ended up getting another full price offer after I lowered it down to $510,000. Well, then guess what? The people that wanted to buy it in the first place, they ended up giving us a better offer, better than full price offer. And the truth of the matter is, we're getting out of this house what I originally intended to get out of it, which was $512,000. We are paying some closing costs, and I helped the appraiser get up to, I can't tell you that I know what it appraised for, but I'm pretty certain where we had a backup offer that was a full price offer, and with all the information and discussion I had with the other appraiser and giving them comparables, real comparables that were comparable to this property, with everything being, all the square footage being above grade, with the knowledge that this has a new roof on it, just a few years old, that cost $10,000, where there was nearly somewhere around $5,000 spent for a new furnace, even though the home that looks identical to it is right next door that sold for $500,000. We were able to get this under contract at a very good price. It's going to be closing in a couple of days, and it will, I guess maybe in about 3 days, and it will close for the price that I originally had it listed for. And so with my client's permission, I could show you this. But the truth of the matter is, if you pay someone to help you, and I discounted part of my commission to the commission that I would have charged to help this lady be able to get the most out of her home because of her situation. And we're helping her get a little condominium because she doesn't need that big lawn to mow now. And her situation is such that it will be better for her to be in a smaller condo than taking care of having this big home that has more bathrooms than they even have people living in the house. It's just her and one child. And so this is just to give you a little bit of an idea what I did. And, I talk to everyone. I keep track of everyone that's called. So this is Rod, the appraiser broker. And I'll probably follow up with another video and answer this phone. So have a wonderful day.